Hello, everybody. And so one day I just got bored because my the people I'm subscribed to kind of like I don't know, their videos were kind of dull and boring. So I went on Netflix and I've been holding back on watching this for a while, and I thought to check it out because I guess the hype died down or whatever. And just to preface, by the time I found this image, which was like a couple minutes ago, I just saw that there's going to be a season three. So some of what I was going to say it kind of changed, but um, I also want to say that I only know the two main characters of this show because once I tell you what I'm going to say, it will make sense. So anyway, first off, I love the whole like, regardless of I guess in anime they focus more on like teenagers rather than like grown-ups as far as what I've watched. So anyway, I love the whole concept of I guess like being in a video game, and in some ways it'd be awesome to be in VR, just not like actually dying. That's insane. And I guess in the beginning, the first season was okay, except for killing off characters that you cared about. I mean, the guy with the bandana who Kirito meets in the beginning was all right, but he wasn't like, I don't know. I guess in anime, if you're not the hero and you're not a cute girl, I don't really care about you. That sounds bad, but it's true. And the thing is that the thing that the show didn't do good was what's it called, establishing like certain characters. I mean, through the whole thing, I love that the whole thing of Asuna and Kirito falling in love, and because that's the kind of animes that I go for, I guess you could say. I mean, there was Naruto with I can't even think of her name. I was gonna call her Kagome, which that's not. I haven't watched Naruto in a while. I'm still I haven't finished it, and already thinking about going to Boruto, which I don't know, sounds bad. So anyway, they didn't none of the characters. If you look in the picture that I'm using, the characters in the end were in one episode, and I guess maybe they fell in love with him, the Kirito, a little bit, and then they just got thrown away like nothing. And not to mention something that makes me really salty, and I knew it was gonna get to me, was the fact that when Kirito joined this guild, and it was like the whole reason why he stood up for other people, because he made his guild died. And Sachi, I can't remember how to say it, but man, it broke my heart when she died, because I'm not about to cry or anything. It just my throat is dry, but it like sucks so bad. And and I guess it was all cool because I guess it was kind of weird that they added like a computer girl that called them mom and dad, but I still it's still kind of cute and went for it. But yeah, they the characters that you wanted to care about, you didn't, because they were just like throwaway characters, which it was kind of annoying. Just like the guy who was the leader of the guild in the beginning, and he just died as like some motivation for Kirito to like move on or whatever. And I got really, besides the character development, I don't really have any beef for the first season. The second season, otherwise, is not safe, not even a little. Now, the thing is that when I saw the first season, I was thinking, it should have been over. I mean, obviously, companies want to get the most out of their product. That's why there's a million freaking Power Rangers, and they just keep on coming. And freaking Simpsons won't end. But I digress. The thing that I didn't like about the second season is well, obviously I was once the first season was over, I was waiting for Asuna and Kirito to end up together, but no, you couldn't do that. So if you haven't already seen it, there's some spoilers. Okay, so basically, Kirito defeats the bad guy who was the creator of the game, and the creator wasn't actually a douchebag. He's like every nerd I know. It was like I'd rather be in the medieval times and be a knight and whatever than be in modern times. But anyway, so yeah, he defeats him, and Kirito takes out the thing, and has to get back into reality. But he's still stuck on like oh, I'm gonna develop my skills and whatnot, and then his sister slash cousin, I guess fallen for him, which I'm not sure what they do in Japan, so I wouldn't know. They start fencing or whatever it's called again, kendo, and then he finds out that she's still stuck in the thing, and then he meets one of the most despicable guy I've ever seen on an anime, and that one guy was close second. I can't remember. He was probably that bad, but yeah. As far as I know, they were around like 16 or something, and the creepy ass. Excuse my language. This creepy ass fucking guy trying to marry this girl, and it's like I just when I told my mom about this show, I was like. I had to recap everything, every episode I saw, and I always use this, what's it called, simile or something. I don't know. I didn't do good in English class. It was like if you've ever seen wrestling, and you see your favorite wrestler, kick butt in the ring, and then I think I don't know. Basically, he's just laying in the ring, and then the bad guy shows up and, beats the crap out of him, and, there's no other person to help there, and, just continuously seeing him get beat up until the show ends. And that's how it was kind of like, because, no matter how much Kirito wanted to, like, as soon as he found out that the creepy ass guy wanted to marry her unconscious, I guess she's technically unconscious. She's in a coma, so she's still alive, but still, it's creepy as fuck. And it doubles when it's some old guy. So the creepy guy buys the company that the guy who made the game did, and basically he's like, if you like a little bit further into the season, like I said, there's spoilers. Basically, he said that he was grabbing some people from the the pile of people that were still logged in. So she's trapped in the game, but after what he heard, he was like distraught, and so he's just like, I guess hanging out with his sister or cousin or whatever they're called. And, I don't know, he gets this weird picture that, that's Asuna inside this bird cage. And then he goes to this guy who, was part of the big raid for their first boss, and he owns like a tavern. And it turns out that, the creepy guy made another game, but used basically the same operating system, I think. And basically, it's like somewhat rebranding, not the show, but like the whole concept, because now Kirito's got to go into the freaking game and try to reach the top to get her, the douchebag cheater, and basically he Kirito meets this girl. Like, when I first saw when I started the second season, I was like, when I found out that they were gonna do a second game kind of thing, I was just like, literally in my head, I was like, oh my god, just more characters they're gonna kill off, and I'm not gonna even care about. Even though I'll never forget about Sachi. Anyway, so, and I guess the blacksmith girl was pretty cute. I mean, blue hair or pink hair girls are always like the cute ones and the cute and shy ones. But anyway, I'm off topic, sort of. So anyway, yeah, it's the same concept, except for Kirito can leave and not die, but he meets a girl that happens to be his sister slash cousin slash, I don't know, the girl that is not apparently not really related to him. So he meets her. She helps him out. She helps him get familiar with the game and everything. Aside from bringing the girl Yui back, aka his daughter, into the game as like a fairy. And I thought I get the whole, like, there's a difference between World at Warcraft and fighting games or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so basically, it's just a different, like, skin of the game, and it gets, I guess they kind of dabble into his sister slash cousin slash whatever's feelings for him, and they gets really weird, and you get to see some cleavage and stuff like anime does, and and it's like they end up doing some stuff that wasn't really important at all, because it's like this. I apologize, I hit the mic stand, which I don't know if you can hear, because I'm not using my boom stand this time. I'm using the arm that you put on the desk or whatever. So basically whatever they did was really important, and instead of in the first season, instead of him being super strong, he just was like, the hell with it, I got like a due date, because apparently the creepy guy set a date for the creepy ass wedding. And so basically Kirito has this I want to say a due date. So instead of training and getting stronger, he like gets like a friendship with damn it, I can't think of her name, his sister's cousin or whatever's guild, who she was trying to leave. And so basically Kirito's like, what the hell with it, I'm going to this tower and I'm going to save the love of my life. So basically, if you've seen it, he tries to fight through like millions and millions of computers or whatever, and then before he saved can't think of her name, not his sister cousin's name in the show. He basically they said that they would help him and stuff with the tower, so he goes on and dies, and girl saved him, and then, as like a huge cliche, they show up and he wins, and turns out that it was all a lie because the freaking guy was a creep, and it was just weird because there was a moment when she does the typical, like, remembers the code and sees it in like a mirror in the cage. She gets out, and she's in this thing that's like a government conspiracy kind of thing where there's like tanks of like players' information and their brains and psyches and whatnot. And she finds this interface where she can leave, and then these creepy slime looking things, which are actually like people who monitor the game, catch her and all this crap. So it was like that whole like thing where like it dangles it in your face and then snatches it away. So when he finally makes it, I guess he has to like use Yui's ability as like a program to get there. And they go through millions of tunnels that Asuna took, and the thing that sucks is that like they do that thing where they, well, obviously they haven't seen each other in years, and still somehow they do that cliche that I can't stand, where they stand in a spot and thinking that they're safe. They don't even think about leaving. They just hug and not even think about it. So creepy guy shows up, and does the whole like, I'm part of this and I'm strong, and I'm gonna turn your pain really high so you can feel this, and it turned into like the Berserk kind of thing. I've seen the first movie of Berserk, but I haven't seen the second one. I've just seen like a anime music video of it, and there's like a certain part where the love interest, strange as it is like the bad guy's, let's say giving it to her, and while the hero Guts, is trapped with like a freaking his arm in a monster's mouth, and he's just there helpless while she's getting done or whatever. And in a way, it was kind of lighter because, there wasn't as much gore. Actually, there was no gore. Or, I mean, actually, there was a little. But it was a sense of the helplessness because he was trapped. And, the creepy guy was just like, rubbing her face and smelling her hair and taking her freaking top off, which I thought was weird. And, it got really, really weird because as you'd think, somehow the original guy, gave Kirito kind of the keys to the castle, and Kirito used it against the creepy guy that I don't even bother to remember his name. And Kirito kicks his butt, slashes his like cheek and back and stuff, and while that was like triumphant and stuff, the weirdest thing happens is when they realize that Asuna finally left. She finally was free, and the weird thing happens was when the freaking creepy guy turns into like some kind of Black Lagoon kind of thing, as in the sense of like I didn't expect there to be gore, and basically Kirito had to like use his like reflexes that he got from the game to actually save himself from getting murdered by the freaking guy who had a knife. And well, I basically recapped most of the story, and I'm not really good at describing stuff. I also know that, yes, I realized that I skipped over Kirito's and his sister / cousin / whatever's like little thing that they had, which in some ways it was like there was so many different things where it was like, yeah, the main guy had like so many love interests or girls falling for him, and and the only thing I cared about was, Asuna and him finally getting together. And then, she's finally out, and the guy gets in jail and everything. And then I realized that Asuna and Kirito are finally, like, sitting next to each other, and they're finally in school. And the thing that sucked was the fact that, they introduced, so, like, there was like a weird part where two girls were watching him and her, like, sit down at a bench talking. And I didn't really even care, because they didn't even. I know it's just gonna be more characters that they're just gonna get rid of. And not to mention, and like I said, there's gonna be a third season. So but at the time, I was kind of sad, because it was like another case of heaven's lost property, as in, like, it was just left there, not even, like, it was somewhat it wasn't on a cliffhanger, but it was like kind of what they did with Bleach, as in, like, they Bleach, went down in ratings, and they had to created a boss, and they had to figure out a way to just kill the boss, and so many of Ichigo's forms just, like, went out the window. And so that's kind of how I felt about the second season. I didn't know there was going to be a third, but I was, like, so pissed, because I was like, why? I really just wanted, Asuna and Kirito to be together, and then she's acting like, like a kid would around his parents, saying, "Oh, you're embarrassing me," and all this. And in some ways, I guess it was possible that they were playing, but still, I hate things that play tease or whatever. So I read a little thing, and I don't know if it's true. It was like Crunchyroll or something that said Asuna and them are getting married or whatever. And I had a little, like, inkling about it turning into some random regular anime, or like as animes that have teenagers do. They're basically in high school, and crazy shit happens, and they have to act normal in class, and most of the time the teacher's not even there, like Bleach. And